I'm here today to show you how I cut out my tall wallet using my brother's scan and cut. This is my pattern, This is the pattern that I will be making with you, and first I'm going to go through how I get it all cut out. So this is the tall wallet that I just released. As you can see, it closes with magnetic snap. It has a zipper coin pouch on the back. Inside it has 10 card slots, as you can see here, and they are recessed, which is a fun feature of this wallet. And then it has one ID slot here. And then, of course, the cash and check slots. So, like I said, this is going to be a video for how I use my brother's scan and cut to cut out the pattern pieces. So let's get started. I have cut out one full panel, the card slot panel A piece, as directed from the pattern. And I went ahead and added my tag already, and so I've already done my bevels down here at the bottom, just so that way I knew where the center was. But so just don't pay that any mind. And so I have my 12 by 12 cutting mat. I have my card slot panel A, the SVG file, loaded into my cutting machine. I would show it to you, but you can't see it unless I take my phone down, and then the video will be really shaky. So I have it loaded already. And what I'm going to do, and what I always talk about, is I lightly dust the back of my cork with basting spray. As you can see, this is just a generic basting spray, Walmart, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, any of those places. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be careful to make sure that I get it on the side that my card slots will be cut on. And so for card slot panel A, it's going to be cut on the left side. So I want to be sure to get that basting spray on the right side of the wrong side of the cork, if that makes sense. Right side of cork, wrong side of cork. I want to be sure to get basting spray down this side, and also on my corners, because that's where my blade is going to be cutting, and I don't want the cork to shift. So shake well. And I just do it right on top of my cutting mat. Maybe don't trust me to be a pro. I just do things the way that I do them. You don't have to take my word for it. Feel free to use basting spray however you'd like to. This is just my method. I never said it was right. So I'm going to be sure to get it on right side and then the edges. You can see I didn't even bother spraying this side because the blade is not going to be over here, so it doesn't matter. The way that I set my SVG file up to cut is I move it down to where it is resting at 1 inch in and 1 inch down, just because I feel like that takes away the possibility of the blade not cutting all the way to the edge. Because if you are familiar with Brother Scan and Cut, and I would assume silhouettes and cameos do the same thing, but they have a bleed line all the way around the edge of their mat. So if you try to lay your SVG file up at 0 and 0, the blade won't start cutting until it's about 1/8 of an inch in. So I just blow through all that, and I put mine down 1 inch from the top and the side. So next what I'm going to do is load my mat. And I'm just going to double check my blade depth here. This blade has been pretty well used. This is the only blade I've had on this, or this is the only blade that I've used since I got my cutting machine. So this is well worn, but I like to use things until they're totally dead. So I just keep raising my blade depth. And so right now I'm going to use it at an 8.5. Load that back in. I'm going to press cut. And so I'm going to press start. I like to keep my hands on the piece of cork just to double ensure that it's not going to shift. Even with that basting spray, I'm a bit neurotic with stuff like that, but cork is too expensive to let it get messed up, in my opinion, so I do what I can to prevent that from happening. If you are going to run, keep your hands on the, what's going on here? There we go. If you are going to keep your hands on the cork, the way that I do it is I just gently rest my fingers on either side of the blade mechanism. And I don't apply too much pressure because I don't want my fingers to get caught under there, but I just kind of follow the blade as it's going, fairly reminiscent to a Ouija board planchette, if you've ever played that. Anyway, so it's all done cutting, and I'm going to peel it off. So as you can see, it cut what will be my card slot lines. It cuts them perfectly. And then it cut out that top divot for me. So there is card slot panel A. All right, so now we're gonna cut out card slot panel B. I've got my SVG file all loaded on my screen over here, and so I'm going to spray basting spray. I'm trying to get all the cat hair off first. I'm going to put basting spray on the back side of the cork. And on this one, I made sure to get it on, from the wrong side, I sprayed it on the left side of the cork, because whenever we lay it down right side up, the blade will be cutting on the right side of this. On the right side of the cork. Got something under there, so I'm going to peel that back up. Alright, so we've got everything locked and loaded. I'm going to load my mat. You are going to see my cat freak out back there, so that should be funny. I'll just let that one go. So we're all loaded up, and I'm going to tell the machine to cut. Oh, it barely hit her. This basting spray seems to, it's holding this piece down really nicely, so I'm not really going to mess with it. It's cutting out the ID window right now. Oh, did it get you, Stinkers? Alright. We're going to unload the mat. And then we'll peel. The cork likes to, its backing will get, sometimes doesn't cut all the way through, and that's probably means that I do need to go ahead and replace my blade, but I'm frugal, so I use things until they can't be used anymore. So here we go. You could see card slot panel B is now cut. There's all my card slots. So we have A and B, and then next what we'll do is I'm going to cut out the outer body panel, and really the only thing that we're going to cut out on the outer body panel is going to be the zipper box where we'll inset the zipper, but we'll do that next. I figured that I would show you how I navigate around my screen and how I move my SVG files around to the 1 inch in and 1 inch down. Let's see. So I'm going to go to my USB here. I'm going to find my outer body panel. There it is. So when it uploads it to the machine, you can see that super thin area around the top and side. That's the bleed mark. So we need to move it down so that it's on this 1 inch and 1 inch down and 1 inch in. And so you'll see the SVG file, the pieces are separate. So what we have to do is we need to move the pieces individually. So this is the zipper box, and we need to line it up at 2 and 2. If you want to use this method, you can certainly do it your own way. And then we gotta grab the outer body panel again and set it at 1 and 1. And there we go. As you can see now, I've got it set to where I need it to cut, and so I'm gonna move the phone back to my tripod and then load up my machine so that we can cut this zipper box out. Alrighty, so we just loaded up our outer body panel, and I have the outer body panel here. I'm gonna go ahead and spray with my basting spray. And let's see, so the zipper panel is going to be cut on the 7 inch side. So I'm just going to baste spray just the top where the zipper panel is going to, oh, well, actually it's going to cut out my corners too. So let me spray my corners down so they don't move. And then I'm going to put it at down 1 and in 1 inch, just like before. Peel it off. The last 2 pattern pieces that we need are going to be the snap tab. You can either use A or B. I'm going to do B just because that's how I've been making them recently, and so just for cohesion, I'm going to cut the slanted version. So I cut out 1 as per the instructions said to do, and then in the instructions it says that once you cut out your ID box, you're going to use that cork piece to make your second snap tab piece. So what I'm going to do is lay these wrong sides together like they'll be when I do the actual construction of the snap tab. And then you can see that I have a little bit of overhang that I need to trim off to make them the same. So I'm just going to trim off that little piece right there. And there we go. Now we have all of our pieces cut out to make a tall wallet. So we have 2 snap tab pieces. We have the outer body panel. We have the lining panel, which I will snip the corners later when I'm doing my construction. We have card slot panel B and card slot panel A. And that's all that you need to make the tall wallet. So to purchase this pattern, you can do so in my shop at www.SewGnar.co under the sewing pattern tab in my shop. I also have the SVG files for sale there, only $3, and you get all 6 pattern pieces. You also get a couple extra pattern pieces, but I just cut those because they're rectangles, but I know that a lot of people prefer to have pattern pieces even for those, so I went ahead and made them for you. And yeah, that's it. Tune into the next sew along video where I will be doing the actual construction. Thanks for watching. Give me a follow, a subscribe, a like, a comment, wherever you're watching this video. I'd love to hear some feedback, and I want to see your makes. Thank you.